All right.
Once again, we find ourselves here.
So this is Vprisoner, and today on Final Fantasy Record Keeper, we're going to be doing a rundown of the Fest banners coming up. And with me, as always, is my good friend Slyo9.
Hello.
Perfect. Anyway, the reversal of fortunes.
Perfection.
Yeah, the reversal of fortunes has worked. Here we are. We are going to be going down the upcoming Fest banners. So starting tomorrow at 7 CST, 8 CST.
Yes, CST, 8 CST actually.
8 CST. Yeah, daylight savings time. So starting tomorrow at 8 CST is when the first of the Fest banners come out. These are the banners that have incredible relics on them that are like, basically, if they're the banners that are the biggest bang for your buck, like hands down, no questions asked.
These fests usually occur seasonally. This is our summer one.
Yep. So,
Ooh, and we got a lot to cover. This is probably the biggest selection of BSBs en masse of any other selection of banners we've ever had.
Yep. It really is. I'm gonna quick see one thing here.
Sure.
That didn't. Yeah, that doesn't work.
So, we actually don't have anything quote-unquote professional to facilitate this, so we're kind of just running off of 2,000 Reddit tabs and hopes and prayers.
I would like you to know that I have open in front of me a page that you can see. This is the page with all the relics, and then I have the world's largest spreadsheet that has every item in the game in it, and that's what I'm operating off of, because I don't know some of these items are brand new. So
Yep.
that is a way that that these banners work. There will be actually new items on them, and sometimes the items show up on upcoming banners. Like, I don't know, the Fairy's Bow that is currently visible on the screen right now is going to be recurring very shortly, but some of the items, who knows when they'll be recurring. So one thing I want
That's
to...
great when you get you pulling.
Let me see if I can... I'm trying to do one thing with... Now you see the corner of Record Keeper, and that's good. I'm audibling for something here. Okay. So you can see Record Keeper here, and I wanted to show off the Always Lucky banners that are going on right now.
We have a total of 3. They started up yesterday morning. They usually come in the mornings roughly around 3 CST, because that's when the dailies reset.
Yep.
So we have a total of 3. We have the Imperil Lucky Banner, which features basically every elemental resistance lowering soul break.
Yep. That one's passed.
That one's passed.
That one's dead.
Today we've got Curaga. Anything that has a Curaga on it is here.
Yep, so you can see right here, this is the Always Lucky Round 2 banner. It is a half-off banner, and every 5-star item on it is a Curaga or higher Medica item. What this means, if I go into relics, I think it just has the list of them. Yeah, here's the list of them. The names don't mean a lot without their abilities, but the quick of it is there's a lot of really good healing BSBs, healing USBs, and even not even healing BSBs or USBs, but things like Chaos Rod that are just known strong things, that work very well. So we're going to be talking a lot about banners, and with the summer relic draw banners, there's no bad banners. They're all great, and it's just what the items on there you want are. With these, I'm gonna say with today's and tomorrow's, if you are playing Record Keeper, you probably want to pull on them And if you are in a position to argue that you don't want to, that you shouldn't pull on them, you probably are knowledgeable enough to know that you should, like, you don't need to. So, like,
You probably either are well aware of the
really
stuff
good.
that is on there, or you probably have a lot of the stuff already.
Yeah,
So.
right. Like, if you don't have a healing BSB, this is an auto thing. If you do have a healing BSB, it's probably still an auto pull. Tomorrow's banner is BSB Plus, which is the biggest slot machine in the world. There are 192 items on it. It's every BSB, every OSB, and every USB that exists.
Yep.
Yes.
This also, bear in mind too, this also includes the new Final Fantasy VI stuff that came with the event Thursday night.
Yep. So yeah, we're going to be touching on this banner here, the FF6 banner, next week on Monday when we do our FF6.
Yeah, next week we'll do that.
So,
but suffice it to say, like, don't worry. The stuff from Final Fantasy VI will be on those banners.
So, anyway, now that I've talked about those, let me switch on back over to our actual stuff, which is the Summer Relic Draw Festival banners. So, these appear for 2 days, and they go in stages. So, the first banner will show up tomorrow, and then 2 days after that, it disappears and banner 2 shows up. 2 days later, it disappears, banner 3 shows up, and so on. With the last festival, we had a final period where all 5 banners showed up afterwards, but we can't count on that.
Yeah, that was a very, very unique case.
So it's kind of like when the Steam sale has its final day and everything's back on sale, but we don't, like, because that has only happened in the last fest and the last fest only, can't count on that.
Also, the Steam sale analogy works if every single person on the planet had troubles logging into Steam and couldn't actually access the sale, so they had to do it again.
All right. Anyway, let's start things off. Again, the one thing I want to stress before we even get in, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a ton, there's no such thing as a bad banner here.
No, absolutely not.
Let me talk about the structure of the banners. We have each of the banners is structured so that we have multiple 6-star relics. This one has 4 6-star relics, and then we have I think it's 5 or 6 BSBs. No, yeah, 5 or 6 BSBs, and then 2 SSBs at the end. And the SSBs in general are still even, except for one's just a normal unique on banner 5.
That kind of formatting we've never seen before. Yeah. It's fucking absurd.
So to compare, again, let me like quick pull over to this on the screen. I'm gonna pull up the banner for FF6 has a 6-star relic, and then a burst, and then everything, and then the legend materia stuff, and then SSBs. So that's why these banners are so, like, worthwhile, is because they have much higher chance of pulling these high quality, like, super powerful pieces of equipment.
Yes, Zillergut, you're correct. 4 6 stars, 2 supers, the rest are bursts.
Yep. So let's go ahead and start things off with at the top here with Fairy's Bow. This is Rosa's USB. We're going to be seeing it again pretty soon on an upcoming banner. So, like, if you miss it here, don't worry. But Rosa's USB is something fierce. Benediction, party-wide Kiraga, stock 2000, a magic blink at instant cast.
Yeah. This is a panic button on the same level as, say, Eiko's USB, which is instant Kiraga, guts, and haste.
Yeah.
But people are clamoring for this one specifically because Rosa knows Wrath, and so it's not just a panic button, it's also a panic button you can stockpile several copies of.
Yeah. Like, the Wrath on it makes it pretty powerful. Just the instant magic blink is its biggest, like, ooh, whoops. Like, you know, you push a boss into a different mode, and here we go.
Yeah, this is very strictly an upgrade to
Yeah.
her other incredibly powerful Super Soul Break, Divine Heal, which was just the party-wide Kuraga and Magic Blend.
Yep, benediction. Yeah. So this is one of the from what I've been reading, one of the most like anticipated items in new items in this. So it's definitely a reason to pull on this banner.
Yes.
Okay. So moving along. Next up, we have Rising Sun, which is Yuffie's USB, Clearest Tranquil. It's 8-hit single target, lowering attack and defense a large amount, with a 40% party-wide heal at instant speed again.
Yeah, so this one is a throwback to an incredibly popular, unique soul break that Yuffie used to have called Clear Tranquil, which was just instantly restoring everyone's HP for 45% of their max. This one fell off after a while just because, uniques were going the way of the dinosaur, supers were starting to become the new uniques, and this one just sort of fell under the radar, but now it's back and even better than before.
Oh, I forgot to mention that it is water, non-elemental.
Yes.
I'm trying to translate, like, the speak in this, like, these spreadsheets and these threads into, like, worthwhile information rather than, like, 88% single water / non 8x 704% with attack def -50 611 and party heal MHP 40% instant. Like that's a little too machine speak for me. Anyway, this thing rules. It's offensive and defensive, like jargon, very much so. And it's still jargon, but I'm trying to have it be like translated jargon that makes sense. If that
Our biggest hurdle trying to get this thing to work was to try and find a visual aids that weren't just all like completely jargon, something that we could work with and easily translate into normal person speak.
So, but anyway, this being a party-wide heal on top of an attack and defense debuff, which, like, yes, Mug Bloodlust would overwrite, but this is a huge attack defense debuff. You just don't bother overwriting.
Yeah, and since Yuffie's probably going to be your thief anyway, she's probably not going to be bringing Mug Bloodlust if you have this. It's honestly like, this is literally Clear Tranquil, and then someone said, let's just throw a bunch of really rad shit on top of it.
Oh, my audio balance is bad. I swear to fucking God. Alright.
Oh, I'm the louder one? Oh dear.
Okay, well, we'll see if it's fixed. I just tanked you.
Alright. Well, I'll try to be robust to compensate.
Yeah, I just tanked your audio to see. Whatever. It's good, it's bad, it's good. I don't care.
Okay.
Are we both audible? That's basically the only thing that actually matters.
Yeah, they say that it sounds good.
Okay, whatever.
Next up, we have, Conductor for Yuna.
Yeah.
This is Yuna's USB. It's a recurring one, but it's still a really good one. Song for Spira. This is a party-wide Kuraga that also raises any dead party members for 40% of their max HP, haste, and guts.
Yep. Notably in that order, so heal the party, pick up dead party members, then apply haste and guts. So the dead party members do get the haste and guts reapplied. I want to say this is flat the best raise effect you'll ever see.
Yeah, mostly because it's a raise effect that combos with guts. Part of the big problem of raise has always been you raise and then you lose all of your buffs, so you immediately fall back down when the dude strikes you again.
Yep.
But raise and guts gives you enough time to reapply your buffs and make sure you keep standing after you get picked up.
And you don't have to reapply
haste. Yes.
So
yeah, this is an excellent combo USB for when the going gets tough.
Of note, this is basically the same as Ico's, but it gives up the instant speed for the raise, so.
Yeah. which is fine, actually.
Yeah, it's, like I said, quite powerful in multiplayer. It's really damn good. Like, I know a lot of people, it's like, they see the rays on it and just immediately are like, Relic's garbage, throw it in the trash, chunk. Like, no. Mm-mm.
No.
So,
This is a great multiplayer one.
So, alright, next on the list, we have Kuja's OSB, Final Requiem. It's a single-target, dark/non-elemental magic attack that breaks the damage cap, and it has a bonus for being doomed. Also of note, the relic itself gives a dark, small boost to dark.
This is already a strong OSB. They're trying to address the whole issue where, with older OSBs, the gimmick would, like, they tank the damage in order to compensate for the gimmick. Except they've been doing that way too harshly on some of the older ones. So now that we're getting newer ones with gimmicks of themselves, they're starting to like push it back up to comparable to a normal OSB, yep. And then just give you the extra bonus.
Right, this
extra
one,
bonus.
For comparison, a normal OSB is 4,000% damage. This one is 3,800% damage with a doom bonus bringing it up to 4,400.
Yep.
So a 10% damage boost if you are over a normal OSB if you're doomed. So quite strong. Kuja's got some strong stuff going on here, and Kuja's part of what holds this banner, gives this banner its theming, which we see in the next item here, which is Sid Rain's BSB Metamorphosis Claws. This is Metamorphose. It's a black single target dark and non-elemental 6-hit. With a party-wide magic and defense boost. That also has a doom boost if you're doomed. The commands. Command 1 is single target 4-hit holy and dark that gives your next magic non-charge. And command 2 is a 2-hit all party-wide, or sorry, like all targets that buffs your magic and lowers your resistance.
Yeah, the bursts start off strong here with Metamorphose Claw. It's obvious that, I mean,
really,
this thing has been showing up so often, but it's the fucking strongest mage BSB we have.
Yeah, it still is. They realized it, so we haven't had as many, like, holy/dark weak ultimates, but that doesn't mean, like, even then, like, I'm fighting an ultimate, and I'm like, you know, I think this would just go better if I use Sid BSB in this. It's just like, yeah, probably. You know,
the
like,
potential 90% boost to your magic just by himself, yeah.
Yeah, so Sid is still the king of the mages. That hasn't changed. So this item, I think, represents the number 2, like, top prize that people are looking for on this, like, besides Rosa's USB. This is one of those items that, like, if you know you want it, like, you're diving. And this is a very good reason to.
Oh, and better yet, this is on a banner that doesn't have a whole lot of mines or pitfalls. Yeah. The last time that we saw Metamorphose on a Fest banner, it had a ton of, like, halfway decent to sometimes mediocre relics, just for the fact that it's like Metamorphose Claw is that big of a sell.
Yeah, we did just have this recur a little bit ago in the last 13 banner that was basically Lightning and Sid's Power Hour.
It was also a good banner, though.
Yes. Alright, next up we have Quistis' Dress. This is Quistis' BSB, Hail to the Queen. It is 8 random bio and non-elemental hits within bio on the entry. The BSB commands have, the command 1 is, I think, is that 4-hit? Yeah, 4-hit poison that cares about having status effects on? Or put status effects on. Hold on, I'm going through a spread. Going through a spread. Yeah, 4 single attack targets that cause poison, blind, silence, and oh my god, this isn't
poison, blind, silence, and confuse all have a 7% chance.
Yeah, 7%. All right, this is not big enough. And then command 2 is 2 hits and is up magic, lower res, right? Lower defense. So.
This is extremely good. Poison BSBs are extremely rare, and the ones that do exist are usually are very good. Like, Quistis is not only just in, like, your standard mage in-element thing. It's an in-element with like a self-buff.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that of the existing, like, poison element BSBs and OSBs and such, this is the best one. Like, there's some arguments to be made for some of Edgar's stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is just the strongest of the poison stuff. Poison is an element that is very rarely resisted, even against enemies that have full resistances. Like, in FF4, you'll see enemies that are, like, resist everything but poison. And it also, Command 1 having, like, a pile of status effects is helpful for certain, like, mission conditions.
Yeah, where you have to do a thing. Honestly, Poison is a very excellent alternative to, like, it's a boostable non-elemental damage type almost, just for how often it is resisted versus how often it's just ignored or is weak to.
You're basically only getting weaknesses in FF8.
Yep, because that's the poison thing.
Lena recommended. Yep. Moving along, we have, this is Staff of Rama. This is Garnet's BSB 2. This is a AoE Imperil Lightning, so everybody, and also applies the attack and magic 30% buff, the onion buff, to the party on entry.
Yep.
Command 1 is, this is a toggle. Command 1 is that a group? Let me pull up the actual text so that I have this rather than the fake text, which is useless. Restores 40% of the target's max HP and turns on the toggle. And then the second usage deals 2 AoE attacks with Rama, and then restores all allies by 40%, or 30%. Mm-hmm. And then the command 2 is 4 single target attacks, or 5 if you have your toggle on. So, like, it summons Rama, puts a little toggle on you.
Like, we went over this during the Final Fantasy IX event, but essentially, Garnet's second BSB is a way to try and fix the whole problem that white summoners have with juggling mind and magic instead of just focusing on one. This BSB very clearly wants you to focus on magic because the healing effects are all percentage based. They don't care about your mind stat. And really, some of the best things, the best like types of damage you can get out of this is just like flipping on the summon toggle on command 1 and then just spamming command 2 forever.
Yep, and just using command 1 as like a panic button. This is not a healing BSB. Let me point that out right away. This is kind of like Raigen's, where it has off healing if it needs it.
Yes. This is basically lots of lightning damage with healing on the side.
So, this is quite strong. Again, this is a recurrence. We just had this one show up in the last event, so
it's still a really good one.
This was set. This stream was literally set up in like 20 seconds using spit and some tax. So, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. All
right. Next up is Furian's BSB, Weapon Master. This is 4 AoE holy / non-elemental ranged attacks, and party-wide magic blink with instant speed on it. The relic's also a holy boost. The sword, just small boost to holy. And the BSB commands, command 1 is this like scaling thing where every time you use it, it's chain strike. Every time you use it, it gets more hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, like after every hit. And then the second one on there is 4 hits with a non-charge on it. So kind of like a SIDS.
This is one of the most popular magic blinks out there. It's just insanely strong, like the instant entry. Like basically, Furion has good commands, but the entry is definitely what makes this BSB for him.
Right, like, it overshadows having a 4-hit non-cast, like, non-charge, so...
The 4-hit non-charge with a magic blink, like, that is so popular in multiplayer, you can't even believe it.
Yeah. So, alright, that is almost every BSB on here.
Oh, I guess I should mention, too, for Chain Strike, the effect persists between burst modes. It doesn't fall off with burst mode. It's not keyed to burst mode. So all you have to do is just keep stacking it as you are continuously firing off the burst.
All right. Moving along, we have, geez, so many BSBs on these. So we have Y'shtola's BSB. This is Asylum. Asylum freaking rules. This is a party-wide Kiraga with Stone Skin 30, which is, you get a little bubble around you. It's this tiny bubble, and it is worth 30% of your max HP. And so when you would take damage, instead the bubble takes it until, like, it pops, and then you take the overflow. Command 1 on it is an instant single-target major heal. Command 2 is a all-party-wide minor heal.
Yeah, if you've seen any of my streams, basically, Y'shtola's always there.
Yep.
Asylum fucking rules. There are, like, people sometimes have problems with Stone Skin because it prevents them from building meter, to which I say, again, aggro these days, not so hot. So it's not really all that much of a problem. And besides that, this is definitely something that will save your bacon when you are faced with an enemy that is constantly harassing you with tons of AoE damage.
Yeah, so it like, handing off 30% extra health on top of, like, you know, like, having a character with, like, 6,000-ish health, like, you just flat get a it's basically stock 2,000, you know, except for, notably, in a lot of situations, it's better than stock 2,000, like, where, you know, it's like, oh, you would die from this hit. Like, no, you know, the bubble eats it, so.
And in with a lot of gravity attacks or go-to-1 attacks, they have to respect the bubble too. So if you happen to fire this off before then, that just might save you.
So, all right. It also stacks with stock. So if you have like HP stock from, like, from the like Rosa USB above and the bubble, like, you're just invincible. Like, okay, cool. My HP total of 6,000 is actually 11,000. You didn't know it. Like, all right. Final BSB on the list. This is Kuja's BSB, Terra's Legacy, Force Symphony. 8 random targeting, dark and non-elemental hits with Imperil Dark on the entry, and 4-hit single, 2-hit AoE, which for the commands, which just have, if you're doomed, it deals extra damage. So, also the rod is Dark Plus. They're, like, dark, small boost to dark damage. This is
a good Imperil Dark.
This is, I think, the best Imperil Dark. I'm gonna say.
Second best.
You have a better
but
one
this
than
is
this?
very, very strong. Jill Nabat, but not on here.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, okay, maybe that's stronger, but I don't like Jill as a character, so I'm biased.
Yeah, that's
I'm biased.
Kuja is a much better character, if only because he has an arc. Jill Nabat just fucking
right. Like,
scenes.
I don't know if Jill counts as a character. Is the actual question there?
Yep. Either way, this gets a huge boost. If you have Doom, this is basically there for, like, I mean, if you have Kuja, Kuja's a Darkness Mage, so you're probably packing Memento Mori, which gives you the Doom and boosts your magic.
Yep. All right. Let's touch on the final 2 SSBs on here. We have, this is Cloud of Darkness's SSB, the Anti-Air Particle Beam.
Fucking love that name.
5-hit, all-target, dark and non-elemental with in dark to Cloud of Darkness. This is it. Of everything on the banner, is probably the weakest item. And it's very hard for me to make an argument otherwise, because, like, her SSB isn't even around to be like, in dark combo. It's like, well, it just combos with itself.
Yeah, like, you say weakest, and you're right, but
I'm saying, I know, relatively.
This is weakest as in the context of complete overshadowing. Holy Dark is a very excellent. Does it say dark? Holy Dark or non?
Dark non.
No, because it said. Hang on.
Oh, it might.
Actually, never mind. Cloud of Darkness's name is too stupid to look up in the bot. Well.
Cloud.
I mean, yeah.
Is it Holy Dark?
It should be Holy Dark because that's her whole gimmick.
Oh, well then.
Because her BSB is also Holy Dark. Because I was going to say, like, Holy Dark is is excellent typing, and that's
whoops,
probably
yeah.
why it's on there.
I read that wrong. My bad.
Yep.
I still think this is far and away the weakest item on the banner, and without like
it's a helpful thing.
because like without again without like anything for that Int Dark to do, this is just an AOE 5 hit.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the other item on here is a much stronger option, the Wizard Rod for Garnet. This is Divine Guardian, her SSB. Party-wide haste, party-wide high regen, and party-wide increases resistance by 50%.
Yep, stacks with wall. This is an old one, but it's a very fantastic chaser to wall.
Yeah, this one is... I've had to use this a lot just as like in specific... This is like a specific fight thing, where it's like, you know you're fighting a enemy that's just doing magic damage, and it's like, well, let's bring in, you know, the extra 50%. So it's worthwhile. Also, it has, you know, Garnet has a second item on here, so like if you get both of those, that's really good. So yeah, so what to say about this banner? I'm seeing two themes in this banner. We have some really, really powerful like healing options in Benediction, in Rose's USB, Yuna's USB, Y'shtola's BSB, and even like Yuffie's USB has strong healing on it. There's also very strong dark damage if that's something you need with Kuja BSB and OSB. Sid's BSB and Cloud of Darkness's SSB, like for as far as dark damage goes. And then we have like a sprinkle of a couple other things, like Garnet has a couple items on here, Quistis has a BSB on here, and then Furion has a BSB on here. But those are
I feel like Garnet could be counted as healing.
Yeah, I think that's the same sort of healing as Yuffie. Like, sort of an off healing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're looking for strong, very strong healing options, or dark damage, or you just want like Sid Rain's BSB, here's the place to go. That's what I'm gonna say about this.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to any of the other banners, and I can already tell you, this would just be the flat winner on any other fest preceding this.
Yeah. Like, I personally have a pull set aside for that banner.
Same.
And I have a poll set aside for one other future banner, because I have 2 polls set aside. So let's move on to banner 2, which features characters not in the game.
Yeah, by the way, the character that is not in the game yet actually will be in the game by the time this banner is released.
Right, but right now, features characters not in the game. You have a relic that nobody can use, but we'll get to that. Let's start off with... So this is banner 2. This will be showing up on the 26th, so on Monday.
Yep.
And we have... So we start off with Premium Heart. This is Tifa's USB. 10 single-target Earth and non-elemental hits, with a party-wide haste, party-wide reflect damage, and party-wide high regen.
Tifa's needed something good for a while, and this certainly delivers.
This is party-wide haste, the reflect, the thorns, and high regen, like on top of a pretty dang powerful, you know, like 10 hit with like just earth damaging thing. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, like this is a fantastic standalone. You don't really need her BSB to make this work.
Yep.
But this, like, I appreciate the idea of the Radiant Shield combined with the high regen, because it means, like, since you're still taking damage from the thorns, the high regen at least takes the sting out of it.
Yeah, so the thorns on it, the Radiant Shield, we've seen on Elfinod's SSB and on Cypher's BSB before.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other items too, I'm pretty sure, but those are the 2 like most notable ones. So,
like, we call it thorns because that's what it is.
Yeah.
You take damage, and the damage is like the enemy takes the same amount of damage it inflicted on you.
Yeah, this is like, which is very powerful in multiplayer when there's 8 targets for it. But I'm always a fan of being able to get your haste from somewhere else so that you can rely on, like, you know, I use Minfilia's SSB, which is, you know, like shout but without the haste, and has guts, so it's like, well, you want to have haste from somewhere else, but here you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Speaking of haste from somewhere else, we have a Aiko's USB Guardian Mog.
This is in Banner 2, Zerata.
Oh yeah, this is Banner 2. So Aiko's USB Guardian Mog, another reoccurrence, but also a very popular one. Party-wide Kiraga, haste, guts, and its instant cast.
Yep. So again, same what we said about Yuna's, but rather than having the re-raise or the raise on it, it has instant cast, which, to be fair, makes this a lot more powerful.
Mm-hmm. This shows up in multiplayer a lot, and for good reason. It's just a fantastic panic button, and it also keeps you standing when you.
I've also done some rude shit with this, where like I pull this as a roaming warrior and have a team with no healers, and it's just like, all right, let's go. Like I'm here to rush you down, and then the boss is like, crush you, and I'm like, all right, full heal, put on haste and last stand, and the boss is like, crush you. Trigger last stand, like full heal, put on last stand, you're gonna die first. Like, it's really fun. If you want to...
Yeah, rushdown strats are really fun now that Guts is coming into play, especially with powerful Guts enablers like this.
Yeah. So...
Yep, there we go. Okay, so now we move on to Sword of the Father from Noctis. The guy that... the main character of Final Fantasy 15, who hasn't actually shown up yet, but will. This is his OSB, Armiger. It's actually functions a lot more like a USB, if we're going to be honest, since it, one of the traits of the USBs that we've seen so far, and probably just, is it has an EX mode, which is a extremely unique self-buff with its own types of rules.
But this one is still an OSB in that it's a single target non-elemental hit.
Yes.
With Stone Skin 30% on self, and then a Armiger buff, which is attack speed like up by 3, and a specific attack buff.
Yeah, a unique one that stacks with everything. So it's basically keyed to that EX mode. So EX mode Armiger is you get triple the cast speed and a very unique attack buff that stacks with everything. And it lasts as long as the bubble is on Noctis. Bear in mind, this is important. It's not keyed to the stone skin that it casts, just as long as there is a stone skin in effect. So if you pair this with, say, Ishtola or Ramza or anyone else that can provide a bubble, you keep the bubble going, this buff keeps going.
Yep. So yeah, this is, again, for Noctis isn't even in the game yet, but this is, I think the coolest thing with this is that it's an OSB that reminds me a lot of Thunder God Sid.
It does.
It has a much higher damage potential, just starting, because it's non-elemental. It has, rather than the 1200% a normal OSB has, this just has flat 1500, so a 25% buff on it. So Portable Door, I think the way this buff is going to work is basically Noctis is either going to immediately lose the buff, or Noctis is going to kill the opponent's going to die like immediately, like from like the damage you have. So yeah, it is going to be hard to keep it up.
Speaking of Sid, I'm just going to say, like, now that I'm comparing Noctis's OSB with Sid's OSB, Sid's OSB is honestly the prototype of EX mode, because Thunder God's Might is sort of like that.
But yeah.
Something that you have to watch out for, though, Noctis is the king of non-elemental damage. You're going to see non-elemental just flat with a bunch of crazy bad shit effects a lot on his stuff.
Yep. All right. So moving along on our... So we're again, this is still Banner 2 here. Moving along to an oldie. This is Cloud's OSB. It's a single target wind and non-elemental damage that can break the damage barrier on a sword. Yeah.
The debut, the original, the OG.
There we go. I scrolled a little past it. It's it's strong. I see this a ton in multiplayer still. Like it's just like, all right, Cloud shows, it's a wind weak boss. Cloud does Clim Hazard, and then Cloud uses finishing touch twice, and the boss explodes.
Well, these days, too, it's also like Cloud uses Cloud Cycle and then finishes the boss off with this, provided Cloud Cycle hasn't murdered the shit out of the boss already.
True. So, yeah, don't worry. Cloud's Awakening event is right after all of these banners. So, the banners are here to drain all of your mithril, and then you can't get the Cloud banner. That's how it works.
Yeah, basically.
All right. But, good thing, pretty well known. It's shown up a lot. Moving along, we have Maria's BSB, the Runegraven Bow. This is Meteor 16. It's 8 single target earth and non-elemental hits with an earth. Her command 1 has magic thresholds that up it from 3 to 6 hits on, I believe that's earth and non-elemental, and then command 2 is earth and fire, and is AoE and does magic up, defense down. So,
Slayo's Pride and Joy.
this is good stuff.
Yeah, this is one of the most powerful self-buffing tools still. Mostly because Runegraven Bow is known to have an extremely low threshold for how high your magic needs to be in order to get the full 6 hits on command 1.
Yeah.
In fact, so low that everyone else that got the effect, Papalimo and Adia, had to have theirs jacked up.
Right, or even like Tiamat summon hits. Like, so this is very, very powerful as far as earth damage goes. I'm pretty willing to say, as far as like mage BSBs, there's nothing that actually comes close as far as earth damage. There's some that are very powerful still. Rydia's comes to mind, but oof. Yeah,
Rydia isn't winning on damage. She's winning on summon typing.
Right, summon typing's powerful in its own right. So this is if you get this, don't underestimate it. We are on banner 2. I should put a little. I'm gonna put a little. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yeah, just put a little thingy.
Yeah, I've gotten that question enough that I'm going to make an adjustment to my setup quick. So
by popular demand, we're actually putting a thing on top of the banners.
Yeah, no problem. I've gotten the question enough that I definitely should have it. So, image. This is banner, and I'm gonna.
This is just a friendly reminder that we are kind of workshopping this, so any help is greatly appreciated.
I'm gonna put this in the bottom corner here. I don't know how readable that is, but that'll be fine. I don't need the bottom half of the screen because I only want the ones that are focused on the top most of the time.
Oh, I guess,
Actually,
oh yeah, there are some notes about Armiger's status. For example, Sap. He won't lose Armiger from merely taking damage, just if the bubble pops. That's it. So, taking damage from Sap is A-okay.
Alright, I'll just put it down at the bottom like this.
Works for me.
Or like that. There, we'll do that. So this is phase 2. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and scroll back down. Is the Shura gloves. This is, oh god.
This is my pride and joy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as Medio is mine, as Maria's is mine, this is yours. So you wanna take us away on this?
Dance of Carnage. This one is 8 single fire and non-elemental attacks to one target with Infire and self-crit 50%. And it just fixes the critical hit rate to a 50% boost. Her commands are a 2-hit AoE, fire and non-elemental that gives her attack up, defense down, and her 4-hit command 1, has extra damage from critical hits, and this effect stacks with any other sort of crit fixing or crit damage increasing effect.
Yep.
So Rifia gets a lot of shit done with this. She's already one of the best monks in the game, right? Like, her and Zell are neck and neck just because of how batshit insane their bursts are.
Yeah, this was very powerful fire. Are all of her commands ranged as well?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I thought so. Like, I was thinking like maybe the entry isn't, but I don't know. But yeah, Refia's burst is a powerful physical option for fire damage. One of the most powerful physical options for fire damage. So yeah, and if we're looking for magical options for fire damage,
yeah, there's a Runegraven Bow right there.
yeah. Well, we also have the next BSB on the list, which is an oldie, very old on this.
VV.
Proof of Existence. This is a 4-hit AoE fire and non-elemental within fire on VV. The commands are 4-hit single target and 2-hit AoE with doing fire damage, fire non-elemental. It does one thing. It does fire damage. If the boss is weak to fire, that's good.
Yep. It's a Unix BSB, and also a lot of Steiner stuff is key to play along with it.
If, for instance, you still have Mithril, and I'm going to go ahead and edit my screen again. If you still have Mithril and you're looking for other things for VV, why not take a look at this banner right here.
Which has VV's Legend Materia and his new BSB, which is a workhorse.
Yeah, which has Gravity Rod on it, which is... Yeah, so if VV's your character, you might want to go elsewhere. But,
otherwise, VV's BSB 1 is still very good at what it does.
Yes, I crack it out for fire damage a lot. Even with Runegraven Bow, it's only fire damage on the on command 2, which is like that's like I'm doing a metal condition, you know. So
also an earth kind of biases it towards earth damage anyway.
So all right, next up, we have another Tifa relic. This is Tifa's Meteor Crusher. 8 single-target Earth hits with an Earth. Of note, I said Earth, not Earth non-elemental. This one's a little old. And to show that it's a little old, its commands are 4-hit single-target and 2-hit AoE, though let me take a look at this. I think it's reversed, so that command 1 is the AoE.
Yes, command 1 is the AoE. That's how you know that it's actually really old, because Cloud's old BSB actually did that.
Yeah. So this one is, again, quite old, but even old bursts still do a lot of work.
I mean, the big thing with Tifa Inject, who also has the same problem, is that there's really nothing wrong with any of this stuff. Like, this is all very basic, but it's also very functional.
I think the problem is just the like Earth and not Earth non, which means like there are certain fights you're like, oh, time to bring. Oh, whoops.
Nope.
You know, I've had that happen a couple times before with like different characters where they don't have a non-elemental rider, and whoops. But yeah.
That being said, if you've got Earth going for you, then yeah, Tifa's got your back. Otherwise, this works really well with the monk skill Meteor Crush, which every monk usually uses anyway. It just means that Tifa gets a little more bang for her buck out of it.
All right. So yeah, next up is everybody's favorite boy. It's Onion. It's the Onion. It's Onion BSB. Onion BSB is party-wide haste and plus 30% attack and magic as a unique buff to the party. And then the BSB commands are 4-hit physical with physical non-charge on your next hit, and 4-hit magical with for your non-charge magic on your next hit, which means you just chain them into themselves.
You know it, you love it, it's the moneymaker. Everybody wants the Onion. It's such a versatile buff. Really, the problem is, like, it's not just the attack and magic, it's also the haste. That's one of the reasons why Shout remained the king for so long, because it was a combination of a powerful buff with haste, both things that you really needed immediately.
Yeah. The party-wide haste plus the attack and magic is what makes this. If... well, see, if this BSB was just the Onion buff, we would call it Celisa's BSB 1, right? Like...
Yeah. Because hers has the same effect, except instead of party-wide haste, she has Unholy.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like known good stuff. Onion's a bit unwieldy to level if you are just like getting into Onion because of the Onion moat situation. But Onion is also a very, very powerful. Like, this burst is very, very powerful. It holds together teams that are like hybrid attack and magic. So if you have like, you're like, I need to do lightning damage, but I only have Desh's BSB and Ash's BSB. Like, oh no, how do I? Oh well, okay, you know, and like Kane's BSB or something like that. You know, it's like, I have physical and magic. How do I balance?
Yeah, this is a very powerful no-brainer for roaming warriors.
All right. And last on the list is an FF11 character, so, interesting.
Yeah, Prish's BSB.
Yep, Prish's BSB, which I'm going to look up to make sure that I have everything right on in my sheet.
Same.
So, because I don't know, like, again, FF11 characters, I'm not. So, Prish's BSB is, yeah, 8 hits, 8 non-elemental hits, haste, and your quick monk 5. Like, so, like, your next 5 monk abilities have quick charge.
Let's see.
Why would you need other BSBs if you have ashes? Yeah, that's fair. You know what? That's fair. Pretend I said,
I don't know. Anything that's not Ash, but now we've come full circle.
Chinto.
You're trapped in a loop and you can never leave.
Yeah. But yeah, so the commands on this, let me pull up the commands on this, because again, I'm not familiar with this one, because it's, you know.
Well, I mean, I can kind of help with that too. Let's see. Nullifying dropkick. Let's see. Spin combo. 3 to 6 single attacks for the number of different monk abilities used, and this also resets the effect. So basically, what I'm saying is, you use a bunch of monk skills, and you increase the amount of attacks that this one does.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And the second command is Headlong Tackle, which is 4 single attacks that grants plus attack minus defense to the user.
Okay, so you kind of want to, because it's an MMO character, so you want to do your rotation.
Yeah, so this is basically a way to try and get you to use monk abilities outside of the commands. Although, like both of her BSB commands are typed as monk. It's just that command 1 specifically says, I'll reset the charges if you use this.
Also, this is all non-elemental damage, just physical damage.
But at the same time, it also has a shitload of powerful effects that allow you to keep doing tons of damage at lightning speed. Like, the effect from the entry, it goes on for a while.
Yeah, it's 5 uses, so...
And bear in mind, it does keep track of monk abilities that you've been using before you even use the burst, so you probably should be set right away for spin combo.
Ooh, does it count the entry? This is important.
I don't think I don't know if it does.
Is the entry monk fizz? Damn, if the entry was monk, I would like this a lot more.
Yeah.
Because then it would non-charge itself.
Well, it's more like, I probably have to use Meteor Crush 3 times instead of just once.
Alright. Anyway, the last 2 after this, we have Onion's Eternal Staff, which is Onion's lesser-known SSB that is 5 AoE non-elemental hits to the enemy, and party-wide 40% heal.
Hey, this is fine. It is percentage-based, you don't have to care about mind.
Yeah, it's... I like it as an option because there are going to be times in a fight where your onion buff is already on, and it's like, well, what do I do with this bar? Oh, panic button, you know, like...
Mm-hmm.
So...
It does, however, rely on you honing up your onion really well, which is something not a lot of new people will probably be able to do until, like... Because you only usually get onion motes, which is what the majority of his skill set is locked behind until Final Fantasy III events, and who knows when those are going to happen. So, like, unless you have an onion all ready to go, this might be a bit of an issue to field.
Yep. And then the final item on here is one that recurs all the dang time. This is Slice's SSB, which has 5 single target physical hits and Runic.
Runic is an extremely unique effect. Celeste and X-Death are the only 2 characters in the game with gear that can use Runic. This is an extremely good Super Soul Break, and it's one that people build around a lot because Celeste is an incredibly good Spellblader. The fact that this is non-elemental, it doesn't commit to any particular element, means that she has incredible versatility. She can just basically bring any flavor of Spellblade she wants to a fight, and so use this.
Of note, what I just pulled up there, the current FF6 event has her BSB2, which also has Runic on the entry.
I mean, it focuses more on Holy and Ice, but it's also strong as fuck. This is still a really fantastic thing because the Runic effects are the same.
Yep. So, yeah, that's Banner 2. Banner 2, I'm trying to think, like, I think the biggest thing I could say about the focus of Banner 2 is the earth/fire damage that it has going on.
Yeah, that's what I saw right away.
Like, between Tifa, like, we have multiple fire, multiple earth hits, a lot of monk stuff, too, I guess, we have 3 different monks here. Tifa, Arefia, and Prish, so, like, I guess physical users, and that also if you like Onion, or if you like FF15, this is the first place to get an FF15 relic.
Yeah, Sword of the Father is probably going to be a big one for a lot of folks because they're really interested in trying to see what Noctis can bring to the table. And unfortunately, this is all for Noctis for now. We will be getting a Final Fantasy 15 event proper eventually that will have his BSB and whatnot. But for now, we just have this.
All right. Yeah, one moment while I go ahead and adjust the thing to accurately reflect which banner we are on now, because we are going on to Banner 3. Banner 3 has a much more
focused.
This one's focus is going to be very apparent very quickly. So let's go ahead and
yes, Sane Zero, more Final Fantasy 15 characters are coming than just Noctis.
Yeah, but
off the top of my head, Gladio, Prompto, and Iris.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start things off here on Banner 3. This has Shantoto's Chain Soul Break.
Chain Soul Break.
This is the 11-hit single target lightning with a party-wide short charge. Oh my god, I forgot how good this thing was.
2 party-wide short charges.
Yeah, party-wide short charge 2, and starts the lightning chain. The lightning chain is every time like a lightning ability is used, specifically every time a hit happens from a lightning ability, there's a little chain at the top of that ups the damage of lightning abilities. This is like
this is built for multiplayer specifically, and it's very tuned for multiplayer.
But also is very good if you just have like, it's a lightning weak boss, I'm gonna be using lightning abilities. Oh, here we go. Like,
yeah.
So
also, it's for the chain effect. It doesn't really. It's not particularly picky. It does favor lightning attacks, obviously, but it won't punish you for using anything else if you need to.
Yeah. I think the party-wide short charge 2 is like the biggest reason to like this thing.
Hell yeah.
I'll be honest.
It's kind of nuts.
So, alright. Moving along, we have...
Oh, Razor Carbine. Yeah, I've got words about this one.
Razor Carbine. This is Lightning's USB, Army of One. 10 single-target lightning and non-elemental hits with short charge 1 and EX Flash mode.
EX Flash mode is a unique attack buff by 30%. That means it stacks with everything. And every lightning skill that you use while under the effect of EX Flash has 1/3 of the cast time.
Yep, like it gives the next one like a rolling, like, you know, not a short charge. So
yeah, so here's what you do. If you just have this USB, you hone up Thundering Twin Strike forever and you never stop spamming it.
Yep. It works very well with that.
This particular USB debuted in the Final Fantasy 13 event that we had recently. It's insanely fucking good. It's the first that we've seen in global of its kind that has a like proper EX mode, though you could probably count Thunder God Sid. This is a lot like Thunder God Sid. Lightning is very good at being Thunder God Sid if you have this.
Yeah. Speaking of our good buddy Thunder God Sid.
Oh boy.
Next up, we have Thunder God Sid's OSB, which is Thunder God. Single target holy and lightning physical attack that can break the damage cap, and also gives you Thunder God's Might, a 25-second buff that gives you short charge everything for that 25 seconds.
Yeah, this is a flat 1/3 cast time on everything while Thunder God's Might is active. And to add insult to injury, this is actually an effect that you can have on a record material. Like, you level Sid up to 99, you just get the ability to start with this shit.
Yeah, yeah, like we talked about this when we had Noctises. This is like the proto, like, USB, where it's like, oh, it has a mode, or EX mode, honestly. Like,
Yes.
it has a long charge time. I didn't mention that. It does have a long charge time, but whoo boy, this is like, I swear by this thing.
Yeah, unlike other OSBs, this is not built to just this is not made for setups. It's not made for you to wring every last bit of damage out of that one hit. It's built to ramp. Because
Yeah.
you flip this on, and you are constantly shutting out damage with 1/3 of the cast time, and pretty soon you've got another Thunder God ready to go.
True. It's got a long charge time until you use it, at which point it has a short charge time. Like, so. All right.
Yeah.
Moving along. By the way, have you seen the theme yet?
I might be catching it.
Moving along, we have... Oh, look, it's Ash's OSB. Thunder's Echo. Single target, lightning and non-elemental magic that breaks the damage cap.
Simple, efficient, and I like it.
Works well as a finisher because of the enlightening that her BSB gives. Her BSB is notoriously strong. And like this, you know, with the enlightening from that, you just go, okay, cool, I need this fight over. Done.
Yeah. For the record, Ash's BSB is, it seems very simple on the outset. It's just basically like, it's just gobs of damage built on a BSB skeleton, and it also has, like, a decent little self-heal on her Command 1.
Don't worry, we'll have time to talk about Ash's BSB in a little bit.
Oh, Jesus.
But, first, let's go ahead and talk about Lightning's BSB.
Oh, what do you know? You can find the combo right here with her USB and BSB 2.
Yeah, so this is her BSB 2. This is 8 random lightning and non-elemental physical hits with Imperil Lightning on them. The commands are the same as like a basic one with 4-hit single target and 2-hit non-element, or sorry, 2-hit AoE, but short cast time.
Yeah, they're all at ninja speed.
Which, if only there was some way to make that short cast time even shorter.
Yeah, if you somehow manage to luck into both of these, maybe you tried to pull on the FF13 banner recently and got one and not the other, this is your chance to make the combo real.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a very strong, quick cast lightning, BSB. So, all right, moving along, we have Shantoto's BSB. Oh, would you look at that? This is 6 area lightning, fire, and ice hits with enlightening. Her commands are single target lightning, fire, and single target lightning and ice 4-hit with short cast time.
This is a very lightning focused BSB, but it's also fantastic workhorse just because both of those commands have quick cast time.
Yes, and like, so when you're fighting a boss with like rotating weakness, something like Hein or something like what the hell is that, Spheromorph or things like that.
Spheromorph or something like that, yeah, with just like the triad of weaknesses that they shift through.
Yeah. So like this wants to be lightning main, but it's very good at just zapping aside weakness as well. It's nice.
Yeah, and by the way, the quick cast time is built into the command, so it will stack with other effects. Shantoto is really good at quick casting.
Yeah.
In fact, the witch magic skills debuted with her, and it's easy to see just how well it plays into her BSB.
Moving along to powerful BSBs here, we have Raijin's BSB, the Raijin Special. This is 8 hits on the entry of single target lightning and non-elemental damage. Have you gotten the theme yet, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Have you gotten the theme?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Just
anyway,
give me a second.
With enlightening, Command 1 is a charge up that charges up Command 2 and heals an ally for 30 or 40%. think it's 40% of max.
Yeah.
And then Command 2 does hits based on how much you've built it up.
Yeah, this is the nuclear option. Raijin has the highest damage potential in the game with this.
Yeah.
It's a very, very long con. Like, you have to spend at least 6. You have to charge it up at least 6 times for it to work. Fortunately, it carries over into other burst.
Let me quick cut you off there. You
Sure.
don't have to charge it 6 times. You can just charge it. You can just charge it like once or twice and go. Like,
this is like the reason why the damage potential is so huge on that thing is specifically so you don't have to do that.
So the way the math works on it is that charging it once and then attacking with it is more powerful than attacking twice. It wants you to charge it.
It does, but at the same time, it's willing to let you go for a couple of charges.
Yeah.
Although you could just like go nuts, but at the same time, if you need to just finish it, then yeah, just like charge once or twice and let it go.
All right. So next up is one we talked about. Oh look, it's Ash's BSB.
How about that?
Yeah, Ash's BSB is 8 hits, single target, lightning and non-elemental with enlightening. Command 1 is a single target 4-hit lightning non-elemental, but it has a self-heal on Command 1 for pretty hefty. And then Command 2 is a 2-hit AoE for also really heavy damage.
Yeah. Basically, Command 1 is the place for that self-heal to be, because that's probably the one you're going to be using the most.
Right. So, the trick with Ash's BSBs normally have this tax associated with getting an enlightening or an in-wind or an in-fire element going on. So their damage is lower, but once you have the enlightening from the BSB, you have higher damage. So it evens out. Ash's was made before they realized this, or might have just been like she has much higher damage and then also gets the enlightening. Like
yeah.
So like the damage from Ash is just this ridiculously powerful amount of damage coming out.
Also, yes, Zillergut does mention you have to keep in mind the Command 1 doesn't have the non-elemental component.
Yeah. A lot of the times, like with these and with... We talked about Tifa's earlier. A lot of the times you're bringing them for their weaknesses, but it is worth noting that you can't just spam it around without, like, a care. But you also can just spam it around without a care most of the time. Like, let's be real here.
I mean, if you are fielding her just to do lightning damage, then yeah, fine. This is a non-issue. But at the same time, we have so many non-elemental chasers that
wait. You're looking for lightning damage? Well, I've got you covered here. If you're looking for lightning damage, we've got Rafa's BSB, which is 8 randomly targeted lightning hits, and party-wide magic and resistance up by 30%. Command 1 is 4 hits and heals an ally by, I want to say 30%. Let me pull up the numbers on this. I haven't used this one, so I'm not 100% familiar with it, but it has a heal component, and then the back half of it has a magic up defense down to go with the magic up res up. So, yeah, very
this thing
similar.
wants to be Reigns.
Yeah, very similar to Sid. Rather than having non-charge on the first command, which, I'll be honest, that's actually like one of the most powerful things that Sid has going, it has an off heal. So, yeah, this is still an incredibly powerful, like, mage BSB for a mage party.
Yep.
So, yeah. But let's finally, do we finally get to take a moment off of our lightning party? I think we do.
Yeah, I believe we do, because next up is the final BSB, Orlando's Cloak.
Yep.
Which is a swordplay. 10 random holy dark attacks with instant death chaser, and a self buff, which is attack plus 30, defense plus 50. It has a long charge time to... Orlando has got a thing going where he takes a long time to get started, but in exchange he gets a shitload of powerful effects.
Yep.
The commands are 4 single target holy and dark attacks that also reduce. Let's see.
I don't think there's a dark on. I think it's holy on the first and dark on the second.
It should be both. Let me see. There we go. Yeah. Holy no, you're right. Holy and non-elemental, 4 single attacks, attack and defense minus 20%. And swordplay, dark swordplay is command 2. 2 single attacks, dark and non-elemental, heals the user for 20% of the damage dealt.
Yep. So, like, this is like Sid using all the sword techniques that Sid has in the game, because Sid has 1,000 of them. So you have the like armor and weapon break on command 1. You have drain blade on command 2. You have it's oh boy, this thing's very powerful. Does generally need Thunder God's Might to be like of a reasonable cast time, but if you have that either from his materia or from his OSB, you're in luck.
Yeah, this thing, as powerful as Orlando's Cloak is, it doesn't have any enablers for its to compensate for its long cast time, but at the same time, even if you don't have any of those things, you still have access to Power Chain.
We might have some enablers coming up for that, who knows?
Yeah, we sure do. For now, you have Thunder God's Might materia, and also you have Power Chain, which makes your next attack instant.
Too high on that. Okay. So, our last items on here are the SSBs, and on this one, oh boy, the SSBs stand out.
Yep.
We have Raijin's Aura, party-wide non-charge 1, party-wide last stand, party-wide high regen.
This is a fantastic multiplayer enabler. I see this one a lot.
Yeah, also like Torment or Nightmare fights, this is something, or like, any sort of jumpstart event, this is going to be real good for you. With that non-charge, so you just get going instantly.
Yep, like you just save all of your soul breaks and then have Raijin lead with this, and then everyone just fires off instantly.
Yeah. Alright, and then the final one on here is Orlando's newest item. Orlando's SSB, Sword of Saints. This is 6 AoE Holy End Lightning. Oh boy, it's back again. Hits with non-charge 2 for self.
So he gets 2 instant casts afterwards.
Yep. So, this is meant to be an enabler with, is this one instant cast too, or am I thinking of...
No. This is an instant cast. This is also a long charge time, but at the same time, it's like, this is definitely meant to be played into his VSB, OSB.
No, this is instant cast.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
This is instant cast. I was going to say, like, it doesn't say instant cast here, but I know this is instant cast because I know Sid and Relic. Like, I know Orlando Relics. Come on.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so this is instant cast and gives you 2 more instant casts afterwards. So, that's nice. So...
Jesus Christ, you are right. Holy shit.
So if you didn't notice what the theme of this banner is, if you need lightning damage at all, it's here.
Yep.
Every damn relic on this banner has lightning damage, with the exception of Sid, with the exception of like a Sid relic and 1 support relic for Raijin.
Oh, too bad. Raijin's relic has lightning plus on it.
Yeah. So yeah. This is the banner also of note. I want to note on this. This is probably at least in what we see in like Japan, this is the only banner we're going to have in a long time that has all of Sid's relics combined in one spot. Because the next Tactics event has too many characters to focus on and doesn't even have Sid relics on it. At least the FFTA one doesn't.
That being said, they know full well that Orlando is a dude that people want to chase.
Yep. And they use that. So yeah, this is if you want lightning damage, you know where to go. If it's like, wow, like I've got like some things, I could probably do better. This is where it is. This is where it is. So let's move on. We got 2 more banners to touch on. And
okay.
I just need to adjust to banner 4.
And just a heads up on banner 5, we may need to just sort of wing it a little bit. Yeah, we don't.
Some of the new, like, I don't know Corellia's BSB at all, so I'm gonna have to find that in here. Anyway, That's fine.
It's fine. You can just give it to me, and then I'll just like type it into the bot and translate the jargon.
All right, let's start up on Banner 4, which starts with some new items. So one thing of note with Banner 3 is that all of those items on there were recurrences. Some of them were very recent,
but recurrences all the same.
So this one here is not. This is Terra's USB Omen. This is 10 single target fire and non-elemental hits with Infire and EX Magitech, which the mode there is just 30% magic and short charge for 25 seconds.
Yeah, magic plus 30%, casting speed is doubled.
Yep.
This is basically this is the second coming of Terra's Super Soul Break, which is a fire beam for AoE fire attacks that give her in fire. This is like Terra's OSB is well regarded as a powerful option that people love to set up by using fire beam first.
Yep.
And as such, this USB is meant to step in place of fire beam, since that's kind of become much rarer these days.
Yeah, this is also, like, even without a OSB to go with it,
this is already an OSB.
Damn powerful. Like, especially, say, combined with, I don't know, like, Terra's Legend Materia that is, I think it's 20% all stats. Things like that.
Yeah, that's her trance mode. Woof. Needless to say, this is a very powerful USB. If you already have her OSB and manage to get this, holy shit, you are set, my friend. Even if not, even if you still get this, this is insanely good on its own.
Yeah. So, strong. Moving along to the next one, which I think is I love this one.
Yeah,
oh,
I really love this one too.
So this is Sacred Cross, Paladin Cecil's USB. 10 single target holy and non-elemental hits with Unholy. EX Paladin mode, which gives a unique 100 defense boost. And stock 6,000.
6,000 on himself, but 6,000 all the same.
Stock 6 freaking thousand.
I think there is another effect that this thing carries with it.
Does this give cover?
I believe this does give cover.
Okay, let me...
yeah, go ahead and check, because I want to make sure. This probably is the first real instance of cover besides Beatrix's Legend Materia.
Yeah.
Cover is a mechanic that is meant to replace Sentinel aggro and stuff. Is just sort of like an overwrite on Sentinel, since aggro has kind of fallen off recently and they would kind of want to bring it back. Essentially, cover works about like you would think it does. You have the chance to instantly take the hit for a fellow party member.
Mm-hmm. Paladin Cecil... Trying to find it, but I don't know where to find it in here is the problem.
Yeah, EX Paladin just says defense plus 100% because cover is a separate effect.
Here we go. EX Soldier, EX Paladin. EX Paladin, yeah. I swear this has cover on it, but I can't find it in either of these spreadsheets. Anyway, I just love stock freaking 6,000.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, and holy means that you don't have to have his old-ass BSB for this.
Yeah.
Okay, it does not have cover. Piss.
Okay. Is that on his Legend Materia then, or something like that?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, but stock 6,000 means you're invincible, and plus 100 defense also means you're invincible.
Yeah, and
because notably, that 100% defense buff is unique. It stacks with Sentinel, it stacks with any, like, defense buffs from, like, Wall, it stacks with anything like that. It's, yeah. So.
Yeah, because since it is keyed to an EX mode, that means it is completely unique.
Yep. Alright. Let's go ahead and move on to the next new item on here. Oh, look! Buddy Gilgamesh is back.
Hi, Greg.
This is Gilgamesh's USB. This is 10 single target non-elemental hits with crit 50% self, high retaliate, and EX Legendary Swordsman mode, which is a 30%, a unique 30% attack buff. Now, the high retaliate is just retaliate, but a much higher damage retaliate.
Now, retaliate's a common problem before, is that it was just too strong because it's not a counter attack, it's evade and counter. So they tried to put the kibosh on that by having all of the high level bosses and stuff just have attacks that bypass aggro and retaliate in the first place. But high retaliate is here because we are later on going to have several samurai skills and several samurai related pieces of gear that do extra things based on whether or not you have retaliate on.
Yeah. Also, the crit on here is quite nice to have, and a unique attack buff. So I'm very happy with this because I love Gilgamesh, and I'm happy that Gilgamesh is getting more items, even though they're like not showing up. It's not even like in events. It's just like, oh, here, by the way, here's the USB.
Yeah. That being said, Gilgamesh is definitely an investment in later samurai stuff.
Yeah. Also, Gilgamesh is Gilgamesh, so that's pretty good too.
Yep, he's Gilgamesh.
Next up, we have a recurrence of Ramses USB, which is a party-wide attack, magic, defense 30% unique buff, and untyped non-charge 1 party-wide. Is it party-wide on that? Hold on.
Yeah, it's party-wide.
Okay.
So basically, this is an extremely unique buff that also has a enabler built in. So Ramza can throw this on everybody, and then everybody will be just all buffed up and ready to go when they fire off their soul breaks all at once.
Yeah. And the attack, magic, defense buff stacks with basically every buff in the game.
Yep, that's what it was meant to do.
Not actually. I think there's one other item that gives that at this point, but basically. So
it's the exact same effect, and it is much later on, so you don't have to worry. This won't like conflict with anything.
Next, we have maybe the oddest inclusion on this banner. Paladin Cecil's BSB, which is old as shit. It is 5 holy AoE attacks within holy, and the commands on it have a single target with a self-heal on it and an AoE holy damage. 4-hit, 2-hit.
Now, this is old as shit, and so it doesn't really have any non-elemental chasers. You basically are bringing this if Paladin Cecil's slamming his head against a weakness. However, it is a source of AoE Holy, something that is not that common among Holy BSB users. Also, you have Saint's Cross in place of Command 1, so you just hone up Saint's Cross and you don't have to worry about Command 1.
I'm pretty sure you're the only defender of this this BSB left in the world.
I think so. I mean, also, I am trying.
Yeah, here's the other thing. It's been on 20 banners. I've got it as well. Like, I think everybody has this sword. You know, if you've been playing for a while, it was on the free fest banner from the anniversary. It's just been around the block for a long time.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, it's a very popular one, probably because people just like Paladin Cecil in general.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think Command 1 is single attack, not even the 4-hit. You're right.
Yep, it's super fucking old.
It's not even 4-hit, 2-hit. It's wow. Okay. Anyway, let's move along to some better items.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bust is the BSB. Anyway, or Chuck'em Dirk, not a bust. This is Van's BSB, and this one is well known. This is instant cast on it, and I feel like saying that at the beginning because that's very important with this one. 5-hit ranged non-elemental with magic and defense break on them. Specifically magic and defense combined.
Yep.
And then we have Command 1 is magic break, Command 2 is defense break. They're both quick cast.
Vaughn stole the wizard's scrolls and flushed them down the toilet. If you come against a magic-heavy boss, Vaughn's got them on lockdown.
Yep. It's quite good. This is also like an older one, but this one, holy crap, this one has aged well.
Yeah, just because the entry buff is very unique, and also because the commands are quick cast.
Yeah, I think they're single hit rather than like Fran's, which are double hit.
It's fine though. The
It's
breakdown effects are strong, and he gets them out fast.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the big ones on here. So.
Okay, well maybe not the biggest one, because next up we have Fujin Shinchakra.
Well, that's not next up. Next up we have Elfanaud's BSB on the list.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
We're not looking at the same list.
Well, I'm looking at the list on the pictures. We got the pictures. This is Elfanaud's Burst. I will swear by Elfanaud's Burst forever. Elfanaud's Burst. This is you've said that that Maria's is mine. I think this is actually mine. This is my item.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, this is a wind BSB. 8 single target wind and non-elemental hits within wind. Command 1 is a 4-hit wind and non-elemental with giving you non-charge 1 to your next magic attack. And Command 2 gives you an ether on it. Like, you can recharge your summons with it.
Yeah, being able to recharge magic and summons in particular is insane, but the fact that it, like, all of these commands are summon type, which means they don't give a shit about counters.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Specifically, Command 2 specifically 2-hit. It's also very powerful, but like, you end up you're either doing 2 things with Elfanaud's BSB. You're either spamming Command 1, or you're using Command 2 to recharge either, like, Tritok or, like, Tiamat or something like that.
Yeah, because Alphanaud is the only known enabler of Tritok in the game. Since nobody can hone it because it has too many crystals, it will only have 1 cast at any given time, which means that only Alphanaud can recharge it.
Yep, and as Portable Door says, Elfanaud has, like, you can dive for black 5, white 5. So Elfanaud, I love Elfanaud.
He gets a lot of stuff done. I love Alphanaud too.
All right, now let's move on to yours.
All right, Fujin Shinchakram. This one is a reoccurrence of Fujin's BSB. It's also a very popular one.
Yes.
Metsu. Instant AoE wind non-elemental attacks. 5 of them, to be precise, with a magic res 50% debuff on top of them. The commands are...
I believe it's 4-hit, like, just...
4-hit with a... 4-hit with a quick chain effect, I think? No.
I think it's 4-hit ninja speed.
Yeah, 4-hit ninja speed, and then Hakai is res minus 30% for 15 seconds. That's her command too.
Yeah. This is sort of the opposite of... Not even the opposite, it's like a complement to Van's Arc Blast, whereas Arc Blast is made to lower defense so that your physical party works. This is made to lower res so your magic party works. It's real good.
Yeah, for a while, Alphanaud was the only magic wind user in town, and he is so fucking good at his job. Fujin gives him a run for his money, just not in the same direction.
Right, with the debuffing, it's quite powerful.
To say nothing of the fact that she is a ninja, that is that is profoundly a mage.
All right. Next up, Zell's Burning Fist.
Oh my god. This is nobody thought that we would have this recur because we don't see it on any other banners.
Right.
Holy shit, why?
It was on the, like, anyway, this is Duelist, is BSB. 10 random physical single target attacks, each with an interrupt on it? Yeah, with an interrupt chance, and party-wide crit 50%. It's also instant cast, which is probably the biggest part of it. Zell's commands have, the first has attack up, defense down, and the second one is just non-charge. So you go ahead and you just keep using it over and over again, like we have with Alphanaud's command 1 or like Sid's command 1.
Yeah, this, bear in mind too, both commands are 4 single attacks. Again, This is one of those instances where they are trying to compensate for the fact that non-elemental doesn't have any real opportunities for boosting damage like elemental meta does. So instead they just stack a shitload of powerful effects on it.
Yeah, it's weird too because Usually these commands are reversed. Like Command 1 is usually the non-charge cycler, and Command 2 is usually the attack up, like defense down. But it's reversed in these commands. This thing's quite powerful though. I like the instant cast on the entry.
Yeah. This is the reason why Zell is just right up there with Refia in terms of, like, they are the two most powerful monks, bar none.
Alright. Final BSB on here is a very strong BSB. This is the BSB that introduced Guts to us. Realms Magical Brush, Star Prism, 3 AoE holy and non-elemental hits that do no damage, and a party-wide Kira and Last Stand to the party. So this is the Guts, as we've talked about. This is go to 1 and you don't fall over. Commands are the same as Y'shtola before. We have an instant single target and a party-wide smaller one.
Instant Curaja and a party-wide cure.
Yep. This is very good in... I've had a lot of success with this in, like, Torment and APOC jumpstart fights because Last Stand is just that powerful.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that the effect is a Cura level. You get the guts, and that's another way that you just keep standing.
Yep.
To say nothing of the fact that her commands, like, she is extremely good at spot healing, just like Y'shtola, because she can just, like, instant Curaja.
Yep. Which, like, if you're... A lot of the times in fights, this is a sort of an aside, if you have a BSB like this with either Y'shtola's or Realms, you usually, unless it's a very, like, dire situation, you usually want to be using Command 1 because it builds your meter faster and it lets you get your next action quicker. And also it generally benefits from if you have on something like the doubling, like you use the materia that's like used white magic twice in a row. Like the single targets are generally a lot more powerful with that. Anyway, that's an aside.
Yeah, but like you generally want to use Command 1 all the time unless the enemy is pushing your shit in with tons of AoE, in which case the Guts saves you.
Right, that's what the Guts is for. And like using the Command 1 over gets you to the Guts again quicker. Alright, let's talk about Genji Gloves coming back here. This is the newest SSB that Ramza has, and this was on the last... Yeah, this was on the last Tactics banner. So this is a party-wide. This one kind of like on the surface seems like weak. So we have just party-wide stone skin 30% and crit damage up.
That's crit damage, not crit fixing, not crit rate, just flat crit damage.
Yeah. Now, this alone is kind of a... I don't know, like, it is an underwhelming on its own. If you have things that make use of that crit damage, it's a lot more powerful than it looks. And there's a specific cloud item coming out right after these that combos incredibly with Chant.
Yeah,
So-
if you get Chant is an investment, Super Soul Break. You're going to love it once you finally get to
Clouds.
see just what it can do with a Clouds thing.
Yeah, once you have... With that, that's specifically the investment with it. So, I don't know. It's... Honestly, Ramza has a lot of options, and this is just a different one. Like, okay, maybe sometimes you need to use your bar to keep yourself standing, and you can Stone Skin plus get some damage up. Alright, final one on here is Elfanaud's SSB, which is a pretty cool one. It's the Onion buff, party-wide attack, and magic 30%, with Radiant Shield to party, the Thorns.
Mm-hmm.
I use this a lot in multiplayer, more than anything else. Because
Because you have 8 targets that just reflect damage constantly.
Yeah, and like if they brought Shout, if like somebody brought Shout, it doesn't stack. Those stack. So yeah, this is better than it looks for a better. It's probably exactly as good as it looks. Anyway, this is the other banner I'm personally pulling on. I only have 2 pulls for the fest, and this is my other pull.
I only have a couple of dupes on here, so yeah, I'm definitely going for this as well.
Yeah. So I think the big thing though on this banner is right here with Orichalcum Dirk and Fujin's Shinchakram. Those are kind of the 2 items I see as like the biggest, like if you want to pull, that's sort of what you're targeting. But also things like Paladin Cecil's actually like really good USB of I'm invincible, like stock 6,000. Like what is that?
Not to say nothing of Alphanod's Wii U and Zell's Burning Fist.
Yeah. Yep, and so...
This is just a winner all around.
Alright, we have one last banner to talk about, and then we are finally done talking about banners until the next time we get 5 of these. So... As I said before, I don't think there's a bad banner in the bunch. It's just what you need off of them. So, final banner. This is this one we're gonna have to
workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to piece together on spreadsheets. So hold on please bear with us.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Again, I've got the bot on tap in case you need more detailed information.
Okay, so starting off, this is where are you, Warrior Light? Where are you, Warrior Light?
Oh, thank God that counts. Warrior Light. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Warrior Light's chain.
Yes, chain soul break.
Yeah, so this is Warrior Light's chain soul break shield of light. It's 11 single target holy attacks, not holy and non-elemental, just holy. Interesting. With a holy chain and HP stock 2000 to all allies.
This is a great way to get the party started. Also, there's plenty of holy damage to be found. This is a great enabler.
Yeah, and heck, on this banner, you might find some other things that facilitate that. I'm certain. Yeah, this is chains are interesting. They're you have to build a team around them, and then you get their bonus. But I like the stock on this probably more than anything else. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and like I said, chains are usually built around multiplayer where you have 8 different people constantly adding to the chain, so it's kind of tuned around that.
Yeah. Alright. So, next up, let me go down to my 13 stuff. This is Vanille's USB. And I think I remember what this is, but I want to make sure I have the text right on Convalescence.
Sure.
Alright, so this is, Vanille's USB. This is, grants Protect Shell, 2000 stock, and a, what do we call it? The status blink? Yeah. The next time you would be afflicted with, any sort of status effect, it just nullifies it.
Yes.
This is, as Zilligat says, this is a very strong roaming warrior choice. It's also just a very strong opener. Especially for certain fights where it's the boss is going to go on the 3rd turn with the dumb, I silence the party. You're like, what if you don't? What if you just don't?
What if I just don't want to be silenced today?
Yeah, what if that actually doesn't happen?
To say nothing of the fact that the Protect and Shell means that you just have, you don't really need to worry about fielding those, plus Protect and Shell last a long time, 45 seconds, plus all the mind and dumb shit that are attached, that linked in it.
Yep. Alright. It's definitely a good piece there on that staff. I like that a lot. Alright, next up we have Arbiter's Apocrypha, which is Tyro's OSB. It's non-elemental physical damage. Yeah, physical? Let me double check that it's physical, but yeah, non-elemental physical damage, and gives attack, defense, magic, res 15% to all allies. I say OSB, but the damage multiplier on this is hot garbage. You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm just making movements with my mouth trying to get out the words for how much of a disappointment this is.
Right, I remember using this one for the first time, and in OSB, even a neutral OSB, that doesn't have buffs behind it, is generally hitting for 30 to 40,000. This thing, if it breaks 15,000, that's a miracle. The buff is unique. Nothing stacks with attack, defense, magic, res. Yeah.
It's small, but it is unique.
It's very sad how this is just feel
like if this was 30%, if this was a 30% on that buff, we wouldn't even care about the damage.
God, if this were Warder's Apocrypha, I'd be so much better off on it. I love that.
Warder's Apocrypha is insanely good.
But nah,
yes.
so I don't know. Best I can say is that this, like, it has a unique buff, and it is at least like Tyro gets some stats. Like, I don't know. I am honestly, this I think is the weakest of what I can see on this banner. So.
Single target mini lots.
Is it single target or AoE?
Yep,
single target. Oh boy.
Also, Melamoy, again, we're stressing how good Tyro's USB is. It was made for the sole purpose of letting you continue to just wrath up walls forever because it has 2 instant casts on it.
You've been using that in your streams a lot. All right, let's move along to better items and things that work both at chain. This is Agrius's OSB Ragnarok, which is this one has like I think it's night scaling. Let me make sure it's night or holy. No, this one's if it's hitting a weakness. Okay. Anyway, this is physical, holy, and non-elemental damage that can break the damage cap. If it's hitting an elemental weakness, it does higher damage than like a normal OSB does.
I mean, you're probably bringing Agrius to get weaknesses anyway, so yeah, this is gonna do wonders for you.
Yep, Agrius has got a lot of good tools, and this is just like a very good damage to go with it. So I like this one. I mean, it functions, which is more than I can say about Arbiter's Apocrypha. Anyway. Mm-hmm. This is one I definitely need to look up. So this is
Kurla's BSB. This is actually the debut of the BSB.
Yeah. So this is Temple Knight Army Sword Intervention. So this is 6 AoE holy and non-elemental attacks, granting intervention to all allies, which is attack up 30, defense up 50, and haste and burst mode to the user. So that's a very good buff just on the start.
Also, it's a unique buff because it's named.
Yes. Attack and defense. And then Curious's commands. Command 1 is 4 single target attacks, holy and non-elemental, granting high regen to the user, and 2 AoE attacks on command 2, granting sentinel to the user. Damn.
Yeah. Can I say something about intervention? It doesn't have a normal time limit on it. I believe it's burst keyed. Default duration is until removed, which leads me to believe that it
grants intervention to all allies for 25 seconds is what I see here, so
crap. I didn't even notice that because I'm looking at the intervention thing and
yeah, it's, like on the burst here it just says 25 seconds, so but no, like, so that buff is super unique. Attack and defense, which stacks with attack magic or attack normal or attack magic defense. High regen on the 4-hit is nice, just as a little side effect. And then having sentinel when you already have the defense up is also really good. This is good stuff for a character that's gotten absolutely nothing outside of like one event.
Yeah, and I'd also like to point out too, like, you want these days, since aggro doesn't really work, you want Sentinel for the defense buff, specifically for enabling night skills like Guardbringer, which do more hits depending on how much defense you have, and that's really good.
Yep. Alright, now here we have another, we were talking about oldies, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is Eris's BSB, White Materia. So this is 5 AoE, is it holy? Yeah, 5 AoE holy attacks, restores HP Kiraga to all allies, haste and burst mode to the user. But where it comes in is the commands, scroll up here. Yeah, we have a single target Kiraja with mine 30%, and then we have the area party-wide Kira.
The most I can say about this is the command 1 is interesting as an enabler just because it's not self-target. You can target any ally and they get the mine plus 30, so I don't know, if you're doing something weird with a healer or a holy damager, this might be good.
Yeah, This is still just fine as far as a healing BSB goes. Like, it does
Yes.
exactly what a healing BSB wants to, which is high entry and then either single target big or party-wide small. It's just that that's about all. It doesn't have any additional... Like, the damage on it is so negligible, it hurts. And sometimes is a drawback because it's just holy, not holy non.
Yeah, I was going to say about the group attacks, that's kind of a drawback sometimes when, for instance, when I was rolling Pinello BSB a lot because that was my only healing one, I would occasionally run into problems where Evanescence would fuck me against an enemy that would, like, absorb or nullify Holy.
But, by the way, have you found the gimmick of this banner yet? Well, if not, let's move on to Agrius's BSB.
Stop twisting my arm so hard, maybe.
So Agrius's BSB is Beatrix's BSB by another name, but but okay. 4 group is this holy? Yeah, it's just holy. 4 AOE ranged attacks with Imperil Holy for 25 seconds, haste and burst mode to the user, and the commands we got here. I should know this one off the top of my head, and I don't. It annoys me. Yeah, command 1 is the Sentinel, and 2-hit Holy. Command 2 is 2-hit Holy and res 40%.
If this sounds familiar to you, that's because this is Beatrix's BSB by another name. However, the effects are very, some slightly different effects.
The entry doesn't have the all-standing bonus.
Command 2 is non-elemental typed instead of holy.
Yeah, they're the same. So,
whatever.
But yeah, this is still quite good. Holy Imperil. Imperils have gotten more important as they've changed weaknesses in Ultimate and APOC fights to be 50% or 20% instead of full, which means Imperils have an effect.
Yep.
So,
I mean, Agrius is really good at what she does.
Yeah. The difference is less than negligible, but if I didn't say it aloud, somebody would call me on it. So.
Yeah, that's like... we're trying to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. We can go on for hours about that. But...
All right. Next up. Next up is... Ooh, I like... this is one I also have made good use of. This is Minfilia's BSB. The Echo. This is 8-hit single target, wholly on non-elemental. Haste, it has in holy, and then haste and burst mode. And then the commands are breakdowns. I think it's magic breakdown first, and then power breakdown on the second one. Yeah, 2-hit. Oh no, it is 2-hit power breakdown, 2-hit magic breakdown. They aren't reversed. So yeah, 2-hit power breakdown on command 1, and then 2-hit magic breakdown on command 2.
This is a great unholy debuffer.
Yeah. Oddly kind of overshadowed by her SSB, but...
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit weird, but at the same time, it just works, because Minfilia is just good at holy damage.
Yeah.
Minfilia is one of those cases where you can build around either her BSB or her SSB. Yeah, like they're both super good.
Yeah, Minfilia is just good at everything. Like, Minfilia has white, like, high white magic, I think it's white 5, support 5, night 5. Like,
yep.
And so she can just kind of do everything? That's nice.
She's Fem Ramza right down to the shout, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah. So, anyway, next up we have, I think we were talking about this earlier. We have Vanille's BSB, Transcendent Dream. This is instant cast, most important thing of this. Party-wide Kiraga. And mind plus 30 to the user, haste burst mode to the user. And then command 1 is 2 single target attacks with minus res 30%, holy damage. And command 2 is party wide Kira.
Welcome to the most popular healer burst in multiplayer.
Yeah, this one is very... I've actually been seeing realms more as time's gone on, just for last stand.
Yeah, because Guts has been more and more necessary.
Yeah, but instant cast means, like, reactive. You can sit on this, and then when the boss does, like, when the boss does their big move that brings you to 1, it's like, oh, boop, hit the button. Very strong. This one is Also, one of the like older comparative like healing ones, but this one is super freaking powerful.
It can also be really aggressive offensive-wise if you want it to. Like, it's missing a spot heal, but at the same time, it's there for the effect.
Yeah.
And it can also keep the party standing. It is very much a wholly AoE focused burst.
Right. And let me pull up. Okay. Next up, we have Zac. I've been forgetting to scroll down here. There we go. We have Zac's Runeblade, which Runeblade parentheses 7 CC. So this one's quite powerful. This one is 8 random wind and earth ranged hits with Imperil Wind for 25 seconds and haste and burst mode to the user. The commands on it are wind and non-elemental, but they're quick cast. Single target for group AoE 2.
Yeah, quick note on the quick cast thing. Zax has a very unique quick cast time from anyone else. Ninja speed, for instance, would be something like 85% cast time. This thing is more like 60%. Zax's commands are ludicrously fast, and that's why they don't have any other effects.
Yeah, so this is speed, it's wind. It's kind of weird that it's wind earth on the entry, but wind non-elemental on the commands. But
it's fine. Thing's fast as hell.
Yeah, this thing's quite good for physical wind. We have 2 more items. These are the SSBs, and I have to scroll down to Kyrillia again to find. Yeah, this is Iron Musketeer's Curious. Alright, so this is Swift Blade. 6 holy and non-elemental single target attacks. Restore HP to all allies for 40% of their max HP, and Asuna. So that kind of reminds me of Sabin's, actually.
It has a similar effect, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, this is, again, sort of more of like a situational, but in that situation, it's gonna be saving your ass. So
yeah, if you don't have any status blink or anything, and you just need to like recover from a bad day quick, this could do it for you.
Yep. Of note, so you don't make the mistakes that we've all made, Asuna doesn't cure slow.
No, it doesn't.
So anyway, that's almost it. We have one last item, and this is the actual Tyro item you want on the banner.
Yes, sir. It is the most famous thing that he has to offer, and his most powerful and unique contribution to the entire game.
Yep. Sentinel's Grimoire. This is not even a super soul break. This is just a soul break. This applies wall to your party, which is the common term for defense and res 100%.
Well, 200%.
Is it 200? Are you fucking me?
Yep.
Are you fucking me?
I am not.
Are you fucking
That's what
me?
it says on the 10.
200%. 200%?
200%.
I have been playing this game for at least like 9 months. 200%?
200%. That's what it says on the 10.
Nah, not everybody has Sentinels. Like, this is what it's here for.
No. This is this is what it's here for. And by the way, this is a unique, which means that it has a much higher chance of anything else. So if you need a Sentinel's Grimoire still, this just might be the place to do it. It's on a great banner, and you really can't go wrong with this thing. It opens so many doors for you.
Portable Door, you say everybody has Sentinels right now, but I don't. I've been playing the game for quite a long time now, and I do not have Sentinel's Grimoire. Like, no, a lot of players, even like longtime players, like might not have this one. So
yeah, they might have to Roaming Warrior this one an awful lot. But it's like Tyro and Ishtola are unique in that Sentinel's Grimoire and Stone Skin 2 both have the exact same effect. They are the only 2 characters in the game that have this effect. It is just too fucking strong.
Yeah. They don't do it anymore, but they keep recurring the item because, like... Yeah.
They recur the item, they don't use the effect anymore just because it's like, wow, this is so strong, we either have to nullify it or make it important for every fight now.
Yeah. Even owning Stone Skin 2, I roaming Warrior for Sentinel's Grimoire, like, 60% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even owning the item, I still Roaming Warrior for it, because it's better than bringing, like, Ishtola just to do it.
I think the other problem too is, especially for longer fights like Torment and whatnot, roaming warrior wall has a shelf life.
Usually in Torment, at least in 200 and even 250s, like roaming warriors is enough to get through it.
Yeah, if you're saving them all for the boss, yes, you just have to be careful.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the banners. Do you not have Ishtola Burst? I have pulled on every banner Ishtola Burst has been on, most of them like 2 to 3 times, and I do not. And so that's what I mean when I say like even people who are trying to get an item might not own it. I have a rule for myself. I will pull on any banner that has Ishtola's Burst.
It's also like you usually end up having people with completely different skill sets playing the game in a completely different way. Like, for instance, Slyo and I both have what are well known as some of the best support BSBs in the game. I have Setzer. He has Fran.
Yeah.
Both are extremely good and do the job well.
Well, I think
they are different.
We also have very different play styles, like in that, like I tend to never bring Wrath to a fight, and you.
Like, yeah, I've got all reds all the time.
I was gonna say you've got Wrath honed up to Wrath 5 4 times. Like, it's very different in that sense. Anyway, this banner specifically, by the way, if you didn't notice, holy damage. That's what this banner's all about. Holy damage. If you don't have Sentinel's Grimoire, it's here.
Zach kind of crept in there, but otherwise it's all holy.
Yeah, but Zach's really good, so...
Zach's really fucking good.
Yeah, okay. We did it. We're done. We made it to the end.
Ugh. Hopefully that is a far more in-depth little thing than we were able to do, which is just sort of tacked on to one of my videos.
Yeah.
This is all really good. There's not a single stinker banner in this whole set.
Right. There's a couple items I'm not a huge fan of on a couple of the banners, but even on most of the banners that have something like that, it's one item. Like on here, like, okay, Arbiter's Apocrypha is your miss. Okay, like, yeah, that happens. Or, like, I'm not a fan of Cloud of Darkness's SSB. Like, I would, mostly because I don't think I would want it without Cloud of Darkness's BSB, is the thing with it. Or like, what was there was another SSB, like, that was just like, this is okay.
Cloud of Darkness?
Well, no, that was the one I was thinking of. Oh, Onion Staff.
Yeah, Blowback.
Meh. But, so.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this is also, again, this is, the first banners of its kind to be so heavily skewed towards BSBs and up. Like, you only have, at a maximum, 2 Super Soul Breaks on any given banner on this set. You know, you got, like, what, 5 to 6 BSBs, usually 4 6-star gears, which is a combination of CSBs, USBs, and OSBs. Yeah, the banners from now on during fests will be weighted very heavily towards the high-end gear, and I believe next fest we won't even see a Super Soul Break on that banner. It's just going to be BSB.
We'll probably see like 1.
Maybe 1.
Because there are items that are worth it. Like on here, like a lot of the SSBs aren't misses. Like Aura is not a miss. You know, that's a really
No, it is not. Absolutely not. And Tyro is only there because it is so substantially powerful and you don't get to see it that often. Yeah, Legend Materials might creep into the Fest banners as well later on. Yeah.
I was kind of missing Legend Materials because I wanted to pull on banners that had them, so...
Yeah, I think that's mostly chalked up to the fact that they swapped around the schedule so much.
Alright. Anyway, that is all for today. So if you're interested in watching more Record Keeper stuff, specifically, you can find that on Mondays at 3 in the afternoon, CST. Vprisoner and I go through the events on his side.
Ostensibly.
Yep.
If I don't, it's definitely Slyo, but you get to see both of our play styles.
Yep. So you can find that on Twitch TV /Vpriz or here, depending on. If you're interested in other things that I have going on, I'm generally streaming most of the time, like evenings, Friday through Tuesdays. Right now, it's like tonight I'm gonna be doing La Milana because that's been my Friday nights, but also the Fiesta's ongoing, so you'll probably be seeing Fiesta over the weekend because I've got to do more of that. So
Yep.
but yeah, so if you're interested in that sort of stuff, you can either follow myself or Vprisoner.
Thank you for appreciating value. We had a lot to cover this time, but it's been well worth it.
Yeah, if you, the trick is, again, there's no bad banner. It's just figuring out which one will help you the most. Also, side note, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. Tomorrow's the BSB Plus banner. Pull on that. Like, don't convince yourself that it's not worth it. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
So, anyway. Good night, everybody.
Good night.